everyone. Welcome back to Life with Keza. I know I've been gone for a while, and thank you so much for those of you guys who has messaged me to ask me like, hey, what's going on? When is your next video? When should we expect you to upload a new video? I'm so sorry for being gone for this long, and but I'm here today to actually discuss about a sensitive topic for myself and for some other people. But before I can go ahead and discuss about that topic, this is the reason why I decided to take a short break, because I was going through a lot of emotions. I'm not gonna lie, but there are good emotions because it's something I really care for, something that's dear to my heart. And so that's why I wanted to take a break from filming and uploading new videos. I felt like it was not the right time for me to continue with filming, especially filming about my like daily routines and having fun and all that stuff, because I was trying to sympathize with the people who are going through a rough situation back in my home country. And so I decided to come today and share with you all the situation that's going on back home where I'm from. I'm sure a lot of you guys know what's going on back home in the DRC, especially in the eastern part of the DRC. That's where I'm originally from, although I have never been in the area where there's a lot of wars. But that's where I'm from, and that's where my parents are from. And so I care so much about my country, my people, that I decided that I'm gonna dedicate this video to just sharing with you guys about the situation. I might not know everything about the situation, but I'm gonna share with you all what I know regarding the situation, and just inform those of you guys who don't know what's going on, educate you guys about the situation in the DRC. With that being said, I just want to start off saying to all the communities who lost their people, condolences. Condolences to a Nyamurenge community, which is who I am. I am Nyamurenge, and I just want to say condolences to our people for losing our heroes. I say heroes because it's not just one person. There's so many people who lost their lives fighting for our rights, fighting for our freedom. And so with that being said, all the Banyamulenge communities, condolences, stay strong. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We just need to keep fighting until the end. Not just for the Banyamulenges, there's other people who lost their loved ones, especially from like the other part of the other part of Congo, also like North Kivu. That community lost a lot of their people, and just like other Congolese in general, everybody lost people, and it's so sad. It's a sad situation, although everybody's fighting for their reasons, but losing innocent lives and losing people it's not always a fun situation, regardless what you're fighting for. And so I think that we should all take into consideration the fact that no matter what the situation is, everybody's losing their loved ones. And I wish that the situation would be different. I wish that there could be a better way to resolve the issues, instead of fighting and killing each other, killing our brothers, killing our sisters, our mothers, our sons, cousins, uncles, and all that. We should be better off learning from the past that fighting did not resolve anything. Matter of fact, it made it made everything worse. And so I just wanted to say that, and I just want to say special thank you to Makanika, who is a general who was leading our military or our defensive team that was fighting to protect our people from the Congolese government that's just trying to kill them for no reason. The Congolese government is just targeting these innocent people who live in the southern part of the Congo, which is Kivu, South Kivu, just because there are Tutsis or Tutsi Congolese. They pretty much denied them because they are Tutsis and they don't believe that they are true Congolese. So General Makanika was one of the heroes that gave up everything that he had. He had a really good position in the government, in the government military. But he gave up all that. He left his family behind. He left everything he worked for all his life to go and go to the villages where they were being prosecuted for being who they are, for being Tutsis, for being Tutsi Congolese. He left all that behind to go protect these innocent lives, innocent parents, children, older people who were just being killed on a daily basis for who they were. So special thanks to him. Today marks 1 month since he has been gone. He left a dark spot in our community, in our hearts. I know personally the day that he passed away was February 19th. I personally felt the pain, and I know each one of us did. And so all I know is that we're gonna remember him for the rest of our lives, and we're gonna remember his courageous fighting for our freedom, for our rights, for us in general, just for who we are. I know a lot of people don't understand that, other communities don't understand that, but he was a person that stood up to stop the massacre against the Banyamulenges, the Tutsi Congolese, and just any person who has been prosecuted for who they are. And so he wanted to end that, and so unfortunately he didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But we believe that those who he left behind will get us there, and we will see our freedom. We will feel it, we will touch it, we will live it. And so special thanks to him and all the other heroes that he died with, and all the other heroes that died before him and after him, who were fighting for our freedom. And so let me go ahead and kind of give you like an insight of what's going on for those of you guys who are not aware of the situation. So the Congolese government have been killing innocent lives who are like the Congolese Tutsis, who live in the north and south part of the Congo, which is found in the eastern part of the DRC. They have been killing them for years, because they don't believe they are true Congolese, like I said. So because of that, they have sent groups of arms in the areas where the particular communities stay in, and they would just wake up and attack them, or they would just plan attacks against these people who didn't even have any weapons to defend themselves. So for example, like in the morning, they would just decide to go in the villages and just start shooting them, and they just start killing them. Or if they run into one of them, like one of the Congolese Tutsi walking, minding their own business, they would take them, question them for no reason, either kill them or just torture them. So that has been going on for years, but for the last 7 years it has gotten worse. They will burn their villages, they will take their cows. Pretty much they live in a situation where they had no peace. They lived in fear. They lived in fear to the point where they were afraid to get out the house and go to the stores or just do their regular daily activities, because they were afraid that they were gonna be killed, they were gonna be tortured, or any sort of bad things that were gonna happen to them. And so for the last 7 years it has been really bad. And recently there was a war that broke out. There's a group of the Congolese Tutsis and other Congolese in general who don't believe what the government is doing. There's a group of them that formed an army called M23, and they started defending these innocent lives. So with that being said, we all saw it on the news, or if you want to go ahead and research, just search M23 and you're gonna see a lot of like the coverages saying that, you know, they took over Goma and Bukavu and they're still fighting for other parts of the Congo. And so the problem is the government is still in denial, and the government still denies that they do this stuff to these innocent lives. They believe that they actually put ideas out there that they don't kill people and they don't kill, they don't have anything against the Banyamulenge or the other Tutsi Congolese that live in the Congo, but this is not true. I lived this situation about 25 years ago. I was in the same situation that people back home are going through. That's why I'm here to testify, to say that the government has been doing this, you know, to the innocent lives. So just to give you a perspective of what I just mentioned. So in 96, 97, I mean, I was really young, to be honest. Like, I don't remember a whole lot of stuff that happened, but I do remember some stuff that happened. We lived, I would say, like a perfect life. I was very young. Like I said, I was going to school. I just started going to school. I think I was in like kindergarten. My dad was a businessman who sold cows. That's what a lot of people did back then. Businessmen did, and we lived in Bujimai. And so one day, out of nowhere, we just woke up to people banging on our doors, calling out, saying, "Wake up!" You know, they're banging so loud. And so a family member was staying with us. He opened the door and they came in so loud and just kicking the doors and just breaking into the house, going into the rooms, grabbing everyone, grabbing all of us. We were all young, like my siblings and I were all young. My mom was not home at the time and my dad was not there either. And so they grabbed all of us and put us in a truck. It was like a pickup truck. They put us in a pickup, on the back of their pickup truck. After that, we went to my brother's house. They did the same thing to his family. They just like walked through the door, broke the windows to get in there. They grabbed him, his family, put them in the pickup truck as well. We went to a different family, and all the families of the Banyamulenge that were living there, they did the same thing to us and to them. And then they took us to this small area. I guess it was considered prison. They put us all in there, left us in there, no food, nothing. So we stayed there for a couple of days. Then they transferred us to it was like a military camp, I should say. It was where a bunch of militaries were working, and so there they put us there. It was a prison, so they put us there. Before they actually took us, they pretty much took all the men and killed them, and then they transferred the women and the children to that camp. The camp was in Kananga. For some people who knows the area, it's called Kananga. It's like in the middle of nowhere, like literally nowhere. I can vividly remember it was a bunch of soldiers and their families, but there was nothing else. And so we stayed there for like a year and 6 months. I'm just like cutting the story short because I don't want to go into all details. It's gonna take forever. And so I'm just trying to give you a perspective of how I experienced the discrimination against the Banyamulenge, the Congolese Tutsi in the Congo, and how the government support that. And so they took us in the prison in Kananga. We stayed there for a year and 6 months with no food, no medical attention, nothing. We had babies, we had women who just gave birth, we had young children, and we had sick people there. And so we didn't get fed. We weren't given any medical attention when we were sick, or for those who were sick. The babies did not get any like food, any nutritional food. We didn't get food at all. So what we had to do for survival was go on the street and beg and beg for food and beg for, you know, clothes, and we had to find a way to survive. Mind you, I was around 5 or 6, and so I can't remember all those details. I remember going to people's house and begging them to give me like a to give me a small bucket to go fetch water for them, and so they can pay me food, something to eat, something to take back to my family so we can all share. And this is what most of the children in the prison did to help, you know, to help our families survive. We had to go on the street and beg for something to eat, for something, you know, to pour in our stomach, you know. So during this time in prison, we lost a lot of people. I witnessed people dying in front of my eyes as a young child. You know, I witnessed women, you know, who were sick and weren't getting any medical attention, and so they ended up passing away in front of our eyes. I witnessed little babies die. I witnessed all the worst things that you can imagine. I normally compare this to like the Holocaust, genocide. This is what we went through. And I know that a lot of people during that time lost their lives. A lot of innocent lives were killed because they were Tutsis. I remember seeing on television before we were arrested, they would grab like a Tutsi Congolese walking in the street and just pull tire, like a car tire around them, and they would put gasoline on them and put them on fire. And so all of this I'm sharing to actually like give you an evidence, like a personal story that happened to me, to let you know that this is true. Whatever other stuff you guys hear that out there saying that this is not happening to these communities, it's actually false. I lived this reality of Congolese government torturing Congolese Tutsi because of the way we look, because we're not the true Congolese they say we were. And so I'm just saying this to give you guys a perspective of what's happening right now. It's the same thing that has been happening for years, and it's sad to tell you that the government doesn't really, you know, change anything, or, you know, the government doesn't do anything to protect, you know, the rest of the Congolese. Only the ones that they believe are true Congolese are the ones that are being protected. The rest of us, we are left to, you know, to fight for ourselves. And so I'm also saying this because there's a lot of videos out there, Congolese people, other tribes, those who are accepted to be Congolese. They're putting videos out there saying that, oh, this is make-up stories, there's nothing happening to these people, we love them, we took them as refugees, we helped them. All this is false. How are they gonna take us as refugees when this is also our country? How is that even possible? How are you trying to tell us we are other people, but we know that we belong here? This is our home. I don't need to go into details. I don't need to go into details about how we're Congolese. We should not have to explain ourselves how we're Congolese. Just like we don't question anybody about their identity, their history. We should not be questioned. We are Congolese like everyone else. There's no questions beyond that. And I have people asking me like, why do you guys keep explaining yourself? Well, we kind of have to explain ourselves when it's needed, because people tend to believe whatever they hear, that we're not Congolese, we're not this, we're not that. Why are you labeling us? Why? I think that the government needs to do better for everyone, because I feel like we are being picked out of everyone and being put aside for no reason. And so the government, as a parent of the country, needs to do better. Stop killing innocent lives, stop attacking Minembwe, stop sending the drones to go bomb the innocent people in the villages who has nothing to do with government. who don't even know what's going on sometimes because they're just busy living their simple life, living in the villages, harvesting, herding their cows, and just living a simple life. But it's sad to know that the government today keeps sending drones, like military airplanes, to go bomb these villages. Shame on you. You should be ashamed of yourself, because these people has nothing to do with the government. You should protect them just like you're protecting any other innocent citizen of Congo. And I'm not part of the government, and I don't want to go into politics, but I'm here to voice what's going on, because it's hurtful. It's hurtful to hear this kind of stuff happening back home to innocent lives. It happened to me, so I know how it feels. I know how I felt as a child being found in a situation, and no one knew what was going on. Just like right now, a lot of my friends that I talk to about this situation, they have no idea what's going on. But guess what? Every day, people are being killed. Every day, kids are being, killed for no reason. So this is why I'm using my voice to let other people and anyone who falls under my videos to know what's happening in the Congo, in the DRC, in the southern and northern part of the DRC, which is the North and South Kivu. And the sad thing is the ideology that's being put out there. Oh, this is not true, or these are Tutsi from Rwanda. How are we from Rwanda? Yes, we might look like Rwandans, which there's nothing wrong with them. Yes, my forehead might be big, but it doesn't mean just because I have a big forehead, I'm from Rwanda. And this is what a lot of Congolese people go by. It's that ideology that was put in their head to just discriminate against other people because the way they look, because they have longer nose, because they have big forehead, because they look like this and that. Like, this is 2025. People should not have to explain themselves, or people should not have to be identified by how big their forehead is, how long their nose is. Those are like the stuff that happened long time ago. People, we need to do better. We need to do better. We should not just believe everything that's being told to you. If anything, if you question some stuff, you need to do research. Research yourself and find out the truth. Find out the truth about the Banyamulenge, find out the truth about the Tutsi Congolese in general, find out the truth. Research, educate yourself. Don't just believe what people are telling you or the government is putting in your head. This is unbelievable. This is 2025. That's what I'm still stuck on. I'm still stuck on the fact that people still believe this kind of stuff after everything that happened, after all the wars, after how many people died. So to me, today, I'm just here to put awareness out there, let everybody know what's going on, and let everybody know that, this kind of stuff are happening, which is very sad. And it needs to be stopped. It needs to put an end to it, because innocent life up to today are being killed. Sending drones to bomb innocent people. Like, if you want to fight, go ahead and fight. Use guns, whatever. I still don't believe in fighting. I still believe in, communication. Sit down and talk about the situation. Try to find a resolution instead of fighting. Fighting doesn't only destroy. It doesn't solve anything. There's no solution in fighting. So you are only destroying the country. You're only putting your country backwards. In fact, the better thing to do is sit down and see how to build a better Congo, to see how you bring people together, to see how all these different tribes of Congo can live together in peace. But we're fighting over things, nonsense stuff, like my nose is longer than your nose, my forehead is bigger than your forehead. It's actually sad. I'm laughing, but it's actually very sad. But this is the purpose why I wanted to do a video today. I know I've been quiet, but I've been quiet because I just didn't feel it was right for me to, create my videos or filming stuff that doesn't really, there's a bigger situation happening at home, and I didn't think it was that important for me to do videos about what I'm doing and just fun stuff that I'm doing when people are actually dying. This is a contribution. That I feel obligated to do as a Congolese Tutsi, to educate people who don't know what's going on, to be aware of the situation back home. And the last point I'm gonna really discuss is directed to the youths. I noticed that when I go on Instagram or any other social media platforms, I see a lot of false information, fake news. A lot of other tribes in the Congo are putting out there just to make the whole situation look like it's not their fault, it's not the government's fault. And when I go through the comments, I don't see anybody defending like the Banyamulenge or the Congolese Tutsi at all. I just see a bunch of other tribes, agreeing to what's happening, saying it's not their fault, it's not the government's fault, stuff like that. I encourage all the Banyamulenge Tutsis to stand up, and if you see a comment like that, go ahead and write another comment and say this is not true. You don't have to curse, you don't have to be screaming, making videos of like cursing people out, stuff like that, like what I have seen the other side do. The better way to do is use your voice. If you see something that's not true, go on there and put a comment and say this is not true, explain yourself, and educate the readers about the truth. Sorry, I'm at the park and it's getting noisy, so I'm gonna end it right here. But youth, come on, we have to speak up, use your voice. This is the time for us to use our voice to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. The people who are back home, they cannot speak for themselves. It's our obligation to use our voices. Stop being quiet. I see that a lot of people, I don't know if they're ashamed, I don't know if they're shy, I don't know what it is. I see a lot of our youth are just like looking from the sidelines. That's what I like to call it, because they're just looking at the situation, how it's going. They're not saying anything. If we don't speak up for ourselves, this situation will never end. This war will never end, because it's been going on for 30 plus years, like I said. But anyways, this is what I wanted to discuss today. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, you can always comment below. But go do research and see. Go do research and see what's going on in the Congo. Educate yourself. Educate about the war and what's behind the war. What's the truth that started the war? Everything. You can find all the information out there. Anyways, I hope you have a great day. I hope to see you on my next video. But I also want to encourage those who have not subscribed. But go ahead and comment also, and share my videos, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.